Hi everyone, Emma here. I'm so excited to show you how to make these lovely earrings. So I started out with the one earring and I'll show you how to make the other. So they are massive, let's just say. And we use the Zuni bear that I got from the Curiosities box, Rainforest, number 10. And huge thank you to John Bead. This is probably like my 10th project that I've made with it. So it's been a really exciting box. So if you're interested in getting a box, be sure to check the links in the description and either subscribe. You're probably better to subscribe, just saying, because they do have a certain amount that you can order on their own, but they sell out super fast. And I think the subscription as well, it will be selling out once they get a certain amount. So let's take a look at what I have here. It is very different, I must say. So let's first of all talk about the earring. So these earrings I got online. If you're interested, leave a comment and I'll give you the link for it. They come like this in a package of 2, and actually they come in a set of I think 10 of these packages for super cheap. They're nice and chunky. They're not like the typical, let me just grab, typically when you do brick stitch is what I did here. You have these type of just a single kind of wire, which are great. They still work really well. But I wanted something a little kind of beefier than that to do some stuff with. And these turned out super cool. So I'll show you how to do the brick stitch. I'll talk a bit about the pendant in the middle. I will show you how to make that in another video. It'll be just a quick video. But just because the brick stitch takes a little bit of time. So I have my Zuni bear and crystal, and I have a man in the moon check glass bead dangling from one of these attachments. Now let me enlarge this and show you this here. So I have a loose one here. These are bracelet connectors, I think they're called, from Symbol. That's like the metallic findings for beads. So they have metal ginkgo beads, so you can incorporate it into your design. So these fit exactly a certain amount of beads in between. So this part would be the front of the bracelet, and you would do, say, a peyote stitch or a brick square stitch across one side and across the other, and then have a finding at the end for the closure. So these are actually meant as embellishment to the middle of your bracelet. But I just turned it this way, and because it has holes on each of these prongs, it fit. I'll show you. I was able to take a head pin, and I just cut off the ball and turned it a bit on each side and then hammered it to fit it in. Now I added my beads before I did that. So like I said, I'll show you that in a video. It should be a really quick video. So, and I'm sure I'll release it at the same time as this video. And then just attach that. So then we will attach this to the earring once we get done. So this may be a little bit of a long video because we're going to go through each side here, and then we will attach that piece to the middle. And these earrings, now I made a bit of a strategic error. I didn't test these ear wires out first. You should always check your findings when you get them. If they have like a clasp and stuff like that, make sure they work, because I tend to buy a bunch of them, put them away, and then when I go to use them, I realize one, they're either broken or they have a different way of opening. So I assumed this would open straight up like this, and actually this is how it works. It you pull it open. And of course, that interferes with connecting your piece in the middle. So I had to do a little bit of, you can see how it's stretching. So I had a little bit of finagling to do with that. So good thing to try it first before you start constructing. Leave it to me. I guess that's why I'm here. I do all the mistakes so you guys don't have to. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. So you're going to need a few items. Of course, we'll talk about what you need for this in another video. But to attach it at the top, you can use whatever you have. That's the other thing too. If you don't have something like that, you could use a bead, an oval bead, or some type of a couple of beads, whatever, and just string it across. I've put these are true to, again, I think they're from Symbols. They're gold plated, and they're like a fire polish true to. So I put 2 of those. Then I went through this connector, a 4mm bicone, another true to 4mm bicone, 2 more true twos, and just connect it. But we'll do that in the video. You do need some thread. I'm using dragon thread. Normally I use John Bead good thread for everything now, but because I wanted it to disappear on the gold, I decided to stick with the green colored of the nylon thread. And I did test it out with some white clear thread, and I find the green disappeared quicker than the other. But you can use whatever you want. I have seen people do this kind of brick stitch embellishment on earrings like this, and use like a really bright color, like a red or a blue or a black, and it looks amazing. So you can always, do something, out of the box like that. So of course you need your earrings. I'm using a size 12 needle. I've taken a full wingspan. That will be enough to put all the beads on. Actually, I think we did get the across piece on using the same thread. You're going to need 18. Let me tilt the camera so you can see my supplies here. You're going to need 18 gem duos. I think these are actually diamond duos. The size is pretty equivalent. I'm using 3 of these gorgeous feather, laser etched feather daggers. I had to think. That's for the bottom here. And I outlined the bottom with 2 of these topaz colored gold splash ones at the bottom as well. You don't have to do that. You can do whatever you want, whatever color. You're going to need an 11-0 seed bead and a 15-0 seed bead. And we'll just move those over there. And we'll move this one off to the side. And let's get these guys ready here. Actually, I'm going to move these out of the way for now. And here we go. So we're going to start by tying your thread to the ear wire. So let's, first of all, this kind of goes back to the same shape. I am going to bend it a little bit. And yeah, just make sure it's all there. Okay, so we're going to tie it to this side. We're going to start this side, and sorry, a little better this way if you can see. We're going to start about here, and my idea was that I didn't want to put any beads down here so that this would get hooked into it. So let me show you on this one. Swim in. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, about there. So like a centimeter. Again, these are all suggestions. You can do what you want, take the inspiration from this idea and just do your own thing. I'm going to leave a tail so that I can weave it back in. So let's get that. I'm going to put a knot and I'm going to do a few knots to make sure that doesn't move around. There, that's good. I don't think that's going to move. Let's move it to about there. Okay. So now we are going to pick up 1/11 and let me bring this down a bit. Okay, 1/11 and you're going to pick up your diamond duos or your gem duos, whatever you're using. You want to pick it up the way you want it to be seen on your ear wire. So you have to start from the bottom right side of your diamond duo. The reason I have to point this out is there's a rounded side or a pointy side and there's a flat side. So you want to keep all your flat sides to the inside. You have to remember too, let me think about this for a sec here. Okay, so if we make this our left earring, it will be on you like this with this part to the back, so towards your back, and this is to the front. So people, when on the side of you, are going to see this part of the earring, they'll also see just this edge like that. So you want this back side facing your face is what I'm getting at. So if we're doing it this way, or actually on the wrong side. So I'm going to take where you see where my knot is. I'm going to take it and move it to the other side. So we're going to work on it this way. So it'll go around and that way it'll face outward. So they're like this. I hope that makes sense. I apologize if it's not coming across properly. Okay, so if that's the case, this is the back. So this is actually the wrong side. So we want to be on the left side. It'll make more sense when I put it into position. Okay, let's hold it down. So this is how we're going to build this. So this is your face, this is your ear. So you want the nice puffy side going outward. Okay, so now we're going to take and pick up 5 50-nos. So we've got 5 50-nos. I feel like there's a bit of a shadow here. There. Okay. Now you're going to, coming from this hole, you're going to go into this hole like that. Pull everything through. It gets a little easier as you go. It's a little bit, wobbly at the beginning. So now we're going to pick up an 11/0. So you're basically putting an 11/0 underneath your diamond duo and you're putting 5 50-nos to embellish it. So now we want to bring that across. I'm going to You can go to the front or the back with your 11/0 as long as you go to the other side. around your earring. I'm going to bring it through like this, and I'm holding there so that the bead doesn't pop out. So now I'm in through the middle of your earring. I'm going to come up through this bead and just that bead, and that's going to secure it. And pull it. So now you can pull it tight. So that's a good distance right there. I get it nice and tight, and I'll tell you why. I'm making it tight because I want this to stay. You see how this one it doesn't wobble to the back? It's nice and tight, so it's going to stay. You can move it if you moved it with your hands, but it's not going to move from just it being worn or your hair and stuff like that. So now we're going to pick up one 11-0. And we're going to go around to the back again through your earring. Hold your thumb or your finger there so that the bead doesn't go forward. You can take your needle now and go up through the bottom of the bead like that, and bring it right up next to the other one. So this part here is important. We're getting this one tight and in position so that the first one doesn't move. Then you can add your diamond. I think it was a little too flippy floppy doing it the other way, so I'm going to show you again since I got it wrong the first time. So if you put your flat side on your mat of your gem duo, you're going to go into the left bottom hole, pick it up, add 5 15-0s. That. Now, just bring that all down to your earring. So you're going to go from that hole there into this one here. And I'm just going to hold it so you can see. Now I'm going to pick up my next 11-0 that's going to go underneath here. So I'm just going to be consistent and go from the back to the front, but you could go from the front to the back again, as long as you do the opposite for the next step to secure that bead. And I'm just going to move this guy into position here. There. And I apologize if this is hard to see. Let me know how you're making out with this. I'm new to brick stitch. I just taught myself a couple of months ago. I haven't had a lot of practice, and it definitely takes a lot more practice when you're doing videos so that you can see. So if you bear with me, we'll be doing lots more projects. I'm really enjoying it. I feel like there's a lot of stuff you could do with it. So now we're going to pick up our next 11-0. And I'm going to go through the back, but don't let the bead pass. You got to find your hand position to get that to stay in place there. So now I'm going to go up through the bottom of that bead. Bring it in and bring it right next to the other one. Now I will say, if you can get this nice and tight at the beginning, it helps. I try to tighten these ones here. I was really loose at the beginning, and I tried to tighten them, and I couldn't tighten them just on their own. So I don't know if you can see that, but the thread's a little thicker on the first 3 of them, because first 5 of them, because I had to go through them again. So anyway, I digress. Let's add our next gem duo. Go from the left bottom hole, pick it up, pick up 5 15 O's. That. And we're gonna come through your earring, not letting your beads. Oh, sorry, that's wrong. I'm all excited. I'm going to the next step. Never mind. Okay, we're going from this hole to this hole. We need to secure our 15 O's. Okay, now we're going to take our 11 O. We're going to go under the bar. I'm going to put my finger there so the bead doesn't go anywhere. And I'm just going to go up through the bottom of the 11 O and just the 11 O. That. And everything was loose, including the 15 O's. Now you can see it's nice and tight. I'm just going to get that nice. It's still feel, you can see this moving a bit. The third one's super tight. When we go through with our tail thread, we'll weave that in and tighten it. So let's grab another 11 O and go through the back, down through the bottom of that bead. And we're going to pull it right in there like that. We're going to pick up our next gem duo from the left bottom side. We're going to pick up 5 15 O's. That. I'm going to bring that all down to my work. Hold on to that. We're going to go from this side to this side. The other thing that's really fun about these is look at how fast. So it's pretty exciting. Pick up an 11 O. I'm going to go from behind through my earring. Let me just grab that bead there. Like that. I'm going to go through the bottom of that 11 O. And as you pull it tight, everything else tightens up. I'm just going to take a look and make sure. I feel like there's a bit of a harsh shadow, but looks okay. So pick up your next 11 O, go through your bar. That. Go through the bottom of that bead. That. And tight. And you can still move these because I'm just looking. These beads fit really almost perfectly, as you can see on this one, where it's at the bottom, these daggers. So I want to make sure we are going to hit the right spot. So pick up your gem duo, pick up 5 15 O's, like that. You're going to bring those all to the bottom next to your work, like that. You're going to go through the next hole there, pick up an 11 O, go under the bar and through the earring, putting your finger there so that that bead doesn't pass through, If you're struggling like I am right now, not a big deal. Okay, then we're going to go through the bottom side of just that 11-0 and pull. Now we're going to pull it nice and tight because you can see there's thread showing here. So if we pull this, everything will tighten. I'm just going to hold my finger there and look at that. And you can kind of move those around. And you can see they're staying in place nicely. And you can, if you wanted to, come back around through your 50 nose and add 3 50 nose, and it would look like lace or something like that. I thought that that's what I might do, but then once I got it done, it looked really nice just like that. So I'm going to pick up an 11-0. I'm going to pass through my earring and pull that through, go through the bottom of the bead we just added. And tight. We'll do one more and I'll pause the camera and I'll get going until we get to the bottom and show you that. So let's get our next bead, our gem duo, and 5 50 nose. That. Bring that down to the bottom. Just like that. Go to the next hole. Pick up an 11-0. Go to the back, passing through your earring, but don't let that bead go through. Then go through the bottom of that 11-0. And you can see it's all loosey-goosey everywhere, and just pull like that. So I'll be right back. I'll keep going till about here, till we get to this point here, and I'll show you how I attach that. And then I'll finish up the other side, and then we'll attach. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm ready to add the different color. If we can get better light. The different color gem duo. So if you're not sure where to put it, and it's kind of not too clear where the middle is except for the slight bend, so you don't have to worry too much about it, but in the roundabout area. And if you want, there's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, so you put 10 on each, 10 on this side and 8 on the other. That doesn't sound right. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Then 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Yeah, I guess 10 on each side. It just seems weird that this one here, if you see, your bead goes all the way up to the attachment. So, don't know. It's above my pay grade, as my wife says all the time. I'll ask her a question, she'll say it's above my pay grade. I'm like, you're fired. So pick up an 11-0. Just the same. I mean, adding the different colors exactly the same as we did with the previous ones. So we're going to take one 11-0. I'm coming through. It's at the back and I'm coming through the ear wire. And we're going to go through the bottom. And scooch it in there. Get nice and tight. I'm finding these ones are a bit looser, but you know what I think? Basically the way I'm moving, because normally I move from right to left, I'm moving like a left-handed beater, and that's just because of the way the ear wires are. So, Okay, pick up from the left bottom hole of your gem duo, pick up 5 15-0 beads. We're going to pull that all the way down to our work like that and just hang on to it. We're going to go through the second hole there, pick up an 11-0, go through the back, in through the middle of your hoop, and then go up to the bottom of the 11-0. That. And we're going to snug this up. Over, pull it nice and tight. That there. And then we're just going to go ahead and add a 15-0. And we're going to go through. Now, double check your daggers that they have the feathers on both sides. So you're going to pick up a 15-0, a dagger, a 15-0, a dagger, a 15-0, a dagger, so that you have 3 daggers on there. One more 15-0. Let's bring it down so you can see. Okay, that's what you have. We are going to pick up an 11-0 seed bead, and we're going to do the same as we normally do before we attach the gem duo. So I'm just going to move that over. So we're going to take our 11-0 with all that stuff attached. Don't worry about it. Go under and through your hoop. I'm making sure the bead is staying on the other side. Now we're going to come up through the bottom of that bead. Just move it over so you can see. Go through the bottom of just the 11-0. Put my finger on that. That. And just like that. Put that in nice and tight. You can make this a little rounded by just squeezing it together a bit. I did mine pretty in a bit of a straight line, so I think I might do that again. Just get that. Okay, pick up your gem duo, the different color one, from the bottom left. Pick up your 5 15-0s. Bring that down to your work. That. Go to the next hole. That. Pick up an 11-0. Go under the bar and through your hoop, making sure the bead doesn't go through. Then come through the bottom of that 11-0. You can see everything's loose. This one should tighten it up. And it's going to hold it with my thumb so that it doesn't move around. If it doesn't, just pull your 15-0s out a bit. That should snug it up. Looks like it wants the next bead to make sure it's nice and snug. So pick up an 11-0. Go through your hoop. That. Go through the bottom of that 11-0. And make sure it doesn't hook on your ear wire. Like that, nice and snug. And we are almost set. So I'll continue. I'll finish up the next side, and then we'll get ready to attach the Zuni bear. I love this one. This has like a bit of kind of a country chic style. Like, to me, this looks like lace. And then, of course, the Zuni bear has the indigenous aspect to it. But yeah. Okay, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I went ahead and finished off this side. So I am coming out of my 11/0 bead. What I want to do is I want to bring my thread, so this would be this side here. I want to bring my thread down to this side. So I left my thread. I'm going to go back up and around and come down on this, the second hole of the first gem duo, and attach my attachment. And since we did the camera pause, this went a little faster, so I will be able to show you how to create this part here. Super simple. So let's start by finishing this up. So it's nice and tight. We're going to go up through the gem duo. That. Nice and tight. Go through all the 50 no's, so the 5 50 no's. You might have to do it in 2 steps so that you don't distort them. Go through the next 2. Go through the gem duo and through the 11/0. Come out the front. You can come out the back. It doesn't really matter. Just as long as you always do the opposite for the other side around. So it works the same for attaching things in the middle. So we have our lovely piece that I'm gonna show you how to make this in a second. In the meantime, we need our true twos. So you need 5 of these, or equivalent beads. So that's how wide they are. They're pretty small. That's like maybe an 8/0. Okay. So you're going to pick up 2 of those. Then you're going to remember this is the front side of the work. So you're going to have the front side of your attachment. We're coming from the left side. So we're going to go through the left piece with our diamond duos, or our true twos, like that. Okay. Now we're going to pick up a crystal 4mm bicone and a true 2 4mm bicone. That. And we're going to go through the second bar of that embellishment. Pull that through. Then pick up our last 2 true 2s. And we're going to come through the first gem duo. So we're going to attach it that way. So let me see. I don't think I put it through the actual. Yeah, I didn't go through the gem duo on this one. So we're going to go to this side, but I'll tell you what we're going to do. You got to make sure you go around the bar. So I'm coming through the back and under. So we went over top on the front, over top on the other side. Bring it around. And what I did was I went in front of the thread and then behind the thread. I guess it doesn't matter because it's not attached. Well, we're going to go through this a few times, so we will make sure that it's not going to be moving around. So now we're going to go through everything again. So go through the true twos, through the bar, through the bicone, true two, bicone, bar, and the two. True twos. And you know what's funny? That true two is not totally faceted. Every once in a while you get one of those, but you're not going to be able to see it. So we're coming out the back. This one. Bring your thread all the way across. And I'm going to go in between these two beads here. And like I said, you might want to leave it a bit. You see how I've left a bit of an arch? When I did the first one, I didn't do that. And when you go to open this, you want it to have some give to open your earring. So let's keep it nice and loose like that. The bear will sit a little bit lower, but that's fine. Now we're going to go through everything again. I'm going to go to the back this time. And you see what happened here? It's just the threads gone around the beads. That. I am going to go under here. And actually you could like double wind your thread around the bar like that. And that will stop it from slipping back and forth. So it kind of locks it in place. So now I'm going to go through everything and then we'll cut our thread off. I might actually leave this thread on. I think I'm not too happy with how loose these gem duos are, so I might reinforce them. I'm going to go through the back on this. There. Let's make sure it's not too low. There. Go through. And I'm going to do a double lock in place. And then you can just go up through, say, this gem duo. It's not in the bead. Let me get through the bead. Go through your 11-0. Second one here. There. So now it's locked in place and it's holding it nicely. So you can go and put a half hitch knot in there and then go up a few to thread your thread. But I'm just going to leave my thread on there because I might reinforce these guys. So let's take a look at, let's move this over here. So this is your finished one. Okay. So you're gonna take your bar. Well, let's start with the bear. So I'm using some demi rounds 11-0 for in between the bear and the crystals. So let's take that crystal off. This is a 4mm bicone, in case you're wondering. You can use a 50 no seed bead too. It's pretty much the same. Find when you get that small a bead, you don't see that much of a difference. So a demi round the crystal. We already have our Zuni bear. And then the next one, like that. So now we need some tools, my pliers and my cutters and my round nose pliers. So we just want to put a small loop on there. So maybe to about here. Cut this off. And grab your round nose pliers and twist it around. That's still too much. It's better than too much than not enough. Trust me on that one. Grab your round nose pliers again and twist it around. I'm just gonna little tilt on the back side of it to get that positioned in the middle and make sure everything's straight. There. So we have that piece ready. Then we need the, I ran out of these Man in the Moon beads. I know I have some more somewhere, but you could always use like one of these. That would look nice. But I'm just going to use one of these beautiful turbine faceted beads. So again, I'm taking a head pin. I'm going to cut the round part off. We're going to do a little loop like that. And so there's your first part. Put it on put your bead on. And we're going to have to cut some of this off. Let's try about there. And you're going to have to pay attention, depending on what beads you're using, the position of your loops. Let's see. That. Oh. Let's tilt that a bit. There. Okay. So let's connect these. Start by connecting this one here, since it's a bit open, like that. And I'm going to get my pliers and get that closed. So there's the first part. Okay, so this is the complicated part, is this bar up here. So I'm going to take one of these head pins. I'm going to cut I know people get excited that you can use wire for that. You know what? I have so many of these around that I find I like it that they're stronger. So what you're going to do, so you cut the tip off. If you're using wire, it's even easier. Just cut a piece of wire. You're going to need enough to go across. So let's take a look here. We're going to do this. I'm going to put this on just so you get an idea. Let's get the other crystals. So I'll put and I have demi rounds in here too. Put this on and your crystal. That. And just slightly bring it down and slide it in the hole. There we go. So now we want to curl each end, and we're going to hammer it so that it looks kind of nice. So you can see you don't need all of that. So we'll just start by turning the one side. So you can either turn it with your round nose pliers, but you want it to be super tiny. So you might just turn it a little bit and then use your needle nose pliers. So turn it about that amount. And then take your needle nose pliers and hang on to that. Use your thumb and push it as much as you can. Yeah, it's just sliding in my hand. Okay. So it's turning a bit. Just any little kind of embellishment that you can come up with. Nice. So now that I got it to about there, I'm going to use my pliers to kind of fold it in a little better. That. There, something like that. Looks kind of nice. That. So now I'm going to get my anvil. Okay. This shiny spot there. Let's just move these. Don't want any accidents. Okay. I have a dampening block too underneath it. Okay. And you're going to get your chasing hammer. This is a chasing hammer. They're super cheap, but they're like, I think I got this for like $10 on Amazon. I think the rubber one was another $10, and this was probably $10. So it's really nice for doing wire beaded chain, because you can really do some really pretty stuff. So I'm using this smooth side, but you can use the ball peen side, and it gives you like a textured look. Now this is super tiny, so you're not going to notice it as much. I'm almost done, honey.
Going to start.
That was my wife. It's dinner time. And she's cooking, so she says she's going to starve me. Okay, so here's the issue with this. Once we have one side done, we kind of have to put everything together and do the other side. But it sounds a lot harder than it actually is, so bear with me here. So let's get some demi rounds. We just need 2 of them. Let's just get 2 there. Oh, this came off. I didn't close it. Let's get this. That's weird. Why did it come off? Oh, okay. It needed to be closed a tiny little bit more. There. That's in. And let me just tilt this a little so that it's kind of in the middle. Okay. So we're going to go through the bar. Put your crystal on, your bicone. I'm going to have to do this. Pick up a demi round, your embellishment, a demi round, and a crystal. Okay, so this is the fun part. So we have everything on there. You're going to pull the one side out, and you're going to just pull it enough so that you can get your wire into the hole. There, like that. Push it through. So the one side is there, nice and lovely with the little curled end. So now we're going to have to cut this and go to about here. That. And we'll use our round nose to get it started. I find sometimes using my round nose, they're finer to get in. And look at it, nicely turned it. Perfect. Actually, that's pretty much it. Let's do a little. Yeah, I think that's it. So now I'm just gonna take put the edge just on the edge there. And yeah, I'm gonna push it with the other side so that sticks a little further. That. I'm gonna do the other side. Perfect. Oh yeah, that's lovely. Okay. Get this out of the way. And there you have it. So there is another one ready to go for the earring. Look at my fingers from the mandrel. So yeah, that's how easy it is to do a nice embellishment like that. So thank you so much for joining me for these lovely earrings. And pardon my dirty hands. I'll have to hold it like this. Hope you enjoyed that. And a huge thank you to John Bead for these lovely Zuni bears in our Curiosities box. Take care, everybody. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.